So we're looking at cell respiration again. You should have C6, H12, O6, that's your food. And what else do you need for energy? What else you do? You eat and then you... That's good. Sleep. No, we don't. Yeah, we need sleep to re-energize, but we need oxygen. That's right. We eat and we breathe, and that gives us... We breathe out carbon dioxide as a waste. That's right. CO2. We make a little bit of water in the process, but the biggest thing is that we make our ATP, which does what for us? This is our energy molecule, ATP. The whole purpose is to convert the energy stored in glucose to ATP, just so we can break it down. It's just like going to the beach, building up a sandcastle. You're making your ATP, and then the best part about making a sandcastle is destroying it. That's what happens in your body. Spend all this time making ATP just so you can break it down for energy. But we have to have... This is the only way our bodies can use energy, is in the form of ATP. Right. Now, what do we say about photosynthesis now? Let's go back to photosynthesis. Where does the food that we eat come from? It comes from the sun. So if we look at the equation for photosynthesis, you get sunlight plus what else? Water. What else? And carbon dioxide. And this is really, everyone knows this. Everyone knows this equation. Because if I gave you all a plant and I said make it grow, you all would know what to do, right? No. Absolutely. You give it water, you give it carbon dioxide from the air, make sure it has sunlight, and in turn the plant makes what? Glucose, which is what we use as food. And if we don't eat plants directly, we eat something that has eaten a plant. C6H12O6, and in turn the plants give off oxygen gas, the leftover water molecules, plant waste that we breathe in. So looking at the diagram here, let's fill in the diagram. So here are the two equations. Let's put the diagram kind of in order. I'll start you off with saying the sun, or sunlight, or light energy, is absorbed by the plant. Anyone remember what pigment absorbs? Chloroplast is the structure, absolutely. What in the chlorophyll? Yeah, the chlorophyll in the chloroplast absorbs the sunlight. And what is taken up from the ground? Water. Water comes from the ground. Sunlight is absorbed by the pigments. And what else comes from the air? Carbon dioxide, exactly. So we're doing CO2. So these three things, sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water, go to the plant. What does the plant make in return? Oxygen. Oh, guess what? Which is just what that dog needs to breathe. And what else does it make? And glucose. We'll put glucose here instead of writing out. Sugar, carbohydrates, which is what the doggy needs to eat. Doggy eats and breathes, gives off carbon dioxide, makes some water, and makes ATP in the process. So that is the relationship between the two. It's all one big cycle. Now, flip over to the back of your pages, and you will see a diagram. Let's increase this a little bit. There we go. We see a diagram at the bottom. We have these numbers 1 through 7. Let's see if we can write the number in the photograph with the corresponding description. So number one is what? What is? But just number one in the picture is right underneath the sun. So that's going to be light energy. Number one. Number two, what structure? What structure is this in plants? Light energy gets absorbed by chlorophyll in chloroplasts. That's right. So number two, photosynthesis in chloroplasts. Now, what does that actually make? Light energy and photosynthesis make what two products? Glucose and oxygen. Number three. And that some sort of organism will eat the food and breathe in the oxygen and will now go through the process of cell respiration. Where number four happens in what? Happens in what structure? What is this structure? Mitochondria. Very good. Whoops, number four. And number five, what gas do we breathe out? Carbon dioxide. Number five. Make a little bit of water, which just so happens to be what plants need to go through photosynthesis in step number two. Now, number six, we eat food and we breathe in oxygen to make what energy molecule? ATP. So that's number six. And anytime, and we haven't spoken about this directly, but anytime you have an energy transfer, because this is all about an energy transfer, transferring energy from light rays in the sun into a more usable form. Anytime you have a heat transfer or an energy transfer, some energy is given off as heat. That's why you sweat. That's why you get hot when you exercise, because ATP is being broken down or made, and heat energy is given off. That's what makes your body temperature rise. So that's number seven. So this is sort of an order of operations from a very